Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to be bringing you a book tag. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, a book tag. I don't do these very often, which is sad. I need to get my butt in gear and start doing more book tags. This one is specifically special to me because it's one that I created last year. It's called a Favorite Book of the Year book tag, and it's a set of 10 questions where I talk about my favorite books and least favorite books, and also, just different types of books and genres that I read throughout the year. And I'm going to tag some of you at the end. If I don't tag you, feel free to just do this tag, and don't forget to tag me so that I can see your answers, because I love to see what everybody read throughout the year, and maybe there's a book or two that you read that I might be interested in. So yeah, before we get into this book tag, I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I hope your Christmas day is filled with wonder and joy and happiness, and that you spend some great quality time with the people that you're around today. Alright, so I have a set of 10 questions, and I will link the original video down below, which had 8 questions. You can watch that still. And I'll I'll write down the 10 questions that I revised for your video that you end up doing in the description below. Okay, so question number 1. What was your favorite book of the year? That is an easy question. Hands down, ladies and gentlemen, Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I almost said someone else. Rachel Griffin wrote The Nature of Witches. This came out June of this year, and I just randomly saw it at Target. I liked the cover, and I decided to give it a go. And boy, I could not stop reading this. This had me glued. This is about a group of witches who can control the different seasons. And this is also set in a school, so dark academia type situation. And our main character, Clara, is what you call an Everwitch. Everwitch is a witch that is very rare. They can control and adapt within all seasons. And when I say different groups of witches, you have winter witches, summer witches, spring witches, and autumn witches. And when each season changes, a new set of witches become stronger than the previous witches that were within that previous season. And those witches, say it's winter time and it changes to spring, spring witches now become the most powerful, and they are basically thriving. But in this book series, or not book series, but in this book, their world is threatened because the weather basically fights back, and just nature is thrown out of whack. You have tornadoes happening in the winter time. And then you have a severe heat happening in I don't know, fall or winter or whatever. And the witches come together and try and fight back, but their magic keeps being depleted faster than they realize. And because their magic keeps being depleted, they get weaker and they die. Our main character, because she can control all the seasons, is basically, the chosen one. And she literally can stop a lot of stuff from happening, but she has to choose to do that. And it's like a huge burden on her shoulders because she is the only one who can truly stop everything from happening. I mean, she has help, but like, she's the main person that could do everything. And yeah, it's just a heavy burden on her shoulders. And yeah, it's a fantastic book. I love this book. It's a romance fantasy, so you have a love interest or two, and there's also LGBTQ plus representation. So I love that as well. And I just gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, without the dust jacket, oh my god, it's even more beautiful. Oh my god, I just love this cover. Without the dust jacket. With, it's beautiful. Without, it's even more beautiful. Anyway, that was The Nature of Witches. My favorite book that I read this year. Question number 2. Favorite book or series that has a hard-hitting topic. Now, I'm going to mention 2 books. One was not a favorite and one was a favorite. The first book I'm going to talk about was a favorite. And I just finished this a few weeks ago. And that is Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Nivens. This book is basically about bullying, specifically bullying in high school. We have 2 main characters. One of the characters basically is dealing with like major weight issues, and I can totally relate to that character. And then the other character is dealing with a disease that he has. A disease that he has. And the 2 of them meet each other, and they basically build an unlikely friendship that turns into something else. Yeah, so it's like a rom-com, but at the same time hard-hitting because they're in high school and people are horrible in high school. And yeah, so it's Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Nivens. I definitely recommend this book. I loved it. But I will do a review for that book soon. The other book I want to talk about is a book that I no longer own, and it's called This Close to Okay by Alicia Cross Smith. It is a Book of the Month copy. I'll put a picture up for you. That book talks about mental health. And in that book, our main characters, first main character, Tally, is a therapist, and she's driving home, and she comes across our other main character, Emmett, who is basically about to jump off a bridge and kill himself. But she convinces him to stop what he's doing, get off the bridge, and come stay with her for a few days. And things get complicated because she decides to withhold the information that she is a therapist. And he's also withholding information about why he truly is about to jump off the bridge and end his life. And so because they're keeping secrets from each other, they decide to dig into each other's, find out more about each other, which then reveals more secrets and makes things even more complicated. Now, why I say I didn't truly love the book is because I don't like a lot of the characters' decisions that they made throughout the book. They drive me crazy. But the book does get better, towards the end with the story. That's what saved it for me and had me give it a 3 out of 5 stars. But I still think it's definitely worth the read because it talks about mental health and you learn a lot basically through the therapist's eyes and the patient, so to speak's eyes. So, and yeah, it was still decent. I don't have it anymore, like I said, but yeah. Anyway, that was This Close to Okay by Lisa Crossman. Next one, I love this question. Favorite book or fantasy that you reread? Now, everybody knows, and it's not a secret, that I love Cassandra Clare's books. So it's not going to be a surprise that one of her books is landing on my favorite fantasy books or series that I reread. And the book series I'm going to talk about is the Infernal Devices trilogy. I love this series. It's my favorite series of all time. One, because it's set in one of my favorite eras, which is the 19th century in London. And also because I love the characters. Like, these set of characters are my favorite characters that she's ever written. Pretty much. And if you didn't know about Cassandra Clare, she has written a whole huge universe where you have these beings called shadow hunters who are half human, half angel, that basically their mandate is to protect the mundanes, which are regular humans like you and me, from demons. And in this book, our main character, Tessa, comes to London from New York to see her brother, and it ends up being a trap. And these two evil warlocks called the Dark Sisters basically keep her prisoner, and our main characters basically save her, and she ends up living in the Shadowhunter Institute with them, and all hell just breaks loose throughout the book series, let alone the first book. And oh my god, I definitely recommend this series specifically, because I know a lot of people typically start with Moral Instruments. You can start with this if you want, because this is, in my eyes, the best series she's ever written. And it's also set way back, like I said, in the 19th century. So this is The Infernal Devices, particularly Clockwork Angel, Book 1, and The Infernal Devices. And yeah. Okay. The next question is favorite fantasy book. This is question number 5, by the way. No, this is question number 4. I lied. Yes. Yeah, so favorite fantasy book that I read this year was Death Masks by Jim Butcher. This is the 5th book in the Dresden Files. I gave this book 5 stars. It's my favorite book in the series so far. I can't really tell you what the plot is about because I don't want to spoil it. And plus, each book kind of stems off of the previous one. So yeah, I don't want to give too much away. This series is about a guy named Harry Dresden, who is a wizard and a detective. He basically takes on cases that are magically related, and he helps solve them. And while he does that, he gets into all kinds of trouble. And yeah, I love this series. It definitely has some flaws, but you know what series doesn't? But I love it. And like I said, this is book number 5. I'm currently on book number 6, Blood Rights. And I'm having an interesting time with this book right now. Question number 5. Favorite book from a genre you don't normally read from? Okay. This one Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. I read this year, and oh my gosh, I really enjoyed it. The ending was a little bit abrupt and a little disappointing, but I really still enjoyed this. This is about a girl named Janelle Baker who is living in New York, and in this in New York and all throughout the world, an alien species decides to come to their planet Earth, and at first, they're there to make peace with the humans and to live and adapt with the humans and try and figure them out. But the humans don't like that they're coming into their planet, obviously. And so they react in a way that the humans react in a way that the aliens didn't think they would. And so the aliens decide to do a hostile takeover, and basically all the people are trapped in their homes. All their devices are taken. Any freedom of expression that they have, books, music, movies, that's all taken away because they want the humans to be lifeless. And throughout the book, the humans decide to fight back, which I love. And one thing that's cool about this is one of our other main characters, who is part of the alien species called the Elorians. He's not like them. He's a different kind of... he's different. So he helps our main character, Janelle, stop his species from doing what they're doing. Oh, and one thing that's cool about this is our main character is holding a secret library or contraband of books, if you will, and she's loaning them out to her fellow people in her apartment. I just had to share that little tidbit too. And there's quite a few pop culture references in this. This is a sci-fi romance, by the way, with dystopian elements. And I really enjoyed this book. And I hope there's a sequel in the works. Alicia Dow, if you're watching, please write a sequel, please. Okay. Least favorite book. This is question number 6. Least favorite book. That's an easy one. I don't have it anymore because I gave it away. But my least favorite book was Memorial by Brian Washington. I'll put a picture up there for those of you who want to see. But yeah, Memorial is about two men, Mike and I honestly forgot the other guy's name. But yeah, Mike and whoever, and they're in a serious relationship. They've been in a relationship for quite a few years, and they've hit a rough patch in their relationship. But instead of talking it out and just, communicating and just resolving their issues, they just literally either they argue about it and then stop talking and then don't talk for hours, or they just jump into bed. And that was my main issue with this book, is the main characters choose not to resolve their issues ever, really. And also I didn't like the writing style, and the ending was very ambiguous, and I don't care for those types of endings. So yeah, and I was disappointed. This was a book that was highly anticipated in 2020 for me, and I finally got to read it this year, back in March, and it was a huge letdown. Specifically, I wanted to read it because Barack Obama said that this author's short stories were his favorite, one of the favorite things he read. And if, a former president is giving praise to an author, I'm going to pick up that author. And boy, was I disappointed. And so, yeah, I gave that book away. Another book that I'm going to briefly mention, because I don't want to talk about it forever, because if I talk about it forever, I will rant, and it's going to be ugly. Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. I DNF'd that book at the beginning of the year. I read, I think, almost 250 pages. And that book is about a boy named Kieran, who is basically a lost prince. And he ends up in his family's clutches within their politics and craziness. And by the way, the book is told within 3 different perspectives, which makes it complicated because the 3 different perspectives are told within different timelines, one of them being footnotes, and the other 2 being like the 2 main characters who are telling the major part of the story. But like I said, 2 different, they're telling the story in 2 different timelines. So like one person could be talking about what happens at the beginning, and then the next chapter can be about something that's happening in the middle, and then like something that happens in the end that is brought back to, I don't know. But apparently the storyline is supposed to meet somewhere in the middle, so it all makes sense. But I mean, I was like almost 250 pages in, and it still wasn't getting there. And the book was like 500 and something pages. I'm like, if we're halfway through the book, and the book series hasn't even really begun to connect itself, then I'm wasting my time. And that book really made me so mad that I just refused to read for a few weeks. Like, it put me in a reading slump for a few weeks. And it also made it hard for me to read some other books throughout the year, because I would go back to thinking about Ruin of Kings, and then my reading experience would be ruined. Oh my god, I'm doing it. I'm talking about it like crazy, like I'm gonna explode. But, sorry. So yeah, I didn't like Ruin of Kings. I DNF'd that. And I read Memorial, got rid of that after I was done. Yeah, we're done talking about it. I'm just gonna, yeah. Anyway, next question. Book in 2021 that you haven't read yet, but you know you'll love. So, book that was released in 2021 that you haven't read yet, but you know you will love it when you get to it. Like I said, huge Cassandra Clare fan here. Chain of Iron. This is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy. And oh my gosh, I love the first book so much. This is connected to the Infernal Devices. This is the series that is set after Infernal Devices. This is basically they're the children of the main characters in the Infernal Devices are the main focus. So I'm excited to continue, and I hope to get to this. I'm going to reread Chain of Gold, hopefully in 2022, and then read this one, and then hopefully by the time I finish reading this one, Chain of Thorns will be out. Chain of Thorns will be out in March, so I think I'm going to read 1 book a month. Question number 8. This is number 8, you guys. New release in 2022 you are predicting will be a favorite. And that's easy. Chain of Thorns. I am predicting I will freaking love that book. And there's a few others, but Chain of Thorns is like on my radar. I hope that there's a cover reveal. I don't know yet, but if there is, I'm gonna post it right here so that you can see it. I haven't even seen it. Which, if there is a cover reveal and I haven't seen it, I'm falling behind. But yeah, Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Definitely looking forward to that one. I think I would definitely love that one. And also, there's a new V.E. Schwab book coming out. I think it's called Gallant. I think I'm going to love that one. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Question number 9. This is part of the new questions that I added. What was a book that surprised you and became a favorite? First one I want to talk about, The Eye of Mines by James Dashner. This is a sci-fi, and oh my gosh, I freaking love this book. This is the first book in the Mortality Doctrine series. It's about 3 kids, 3 teens who are big gamers, and they get caught up in a world where virtual reality meets reality, and they have to stop this bad person named Kane from infiltrating the virtual world, and it goes from there. It's fantastic. I finished it in November or October. I think it was October. Anyway, but yeah, I loved this book. It surprised the heck out of me because, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not a big sci-fi person, but every now and then I will read a sci-fi, and it most likely will be one that I really enjoyed. And this one, I mean, I'm not surprised, I guess, because James Dashner is one of my favorite young adult authors. Also, The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. She's responsible for the Truly Devious series, which is a young adult murder mystery / dark academia. And this is a spin-off of that. This is a standalone. And I thought I wasn't going to like this because, I mean, the series was... I love the series. The series was so good. But this was so good. Like, because I think she had the series, each character was already built up enough to the point where just like she went different places and explored the characters' like strengths and weaknesses even further. And of course there were new characters added. And yeah, it's just a fantastic ride. I love this book so much. I'm definitely going to reread it in 2021. I mean 2022, sorry. We're in 2021. And the last question, ladies and gentlemen. What is a series that you plan on reading that you think will be a favorite? I plan on reading this series in 2022. It's called Outlander. It's basically historical fiction meets time travel and fantasy. And oh man, I'm looking forward to that because I love me some historical fiction. And of course, time travel and fantasy. Count me in. Anyway, you guys, that was my favorite book of the year book tag. Please like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And, oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm going to tag Jessie from the Bookish Mom. She is fantastic. You should go check out her channel. She's not only funny, but she's very, I don't know, down to earth and honest. And she tells you like it is. And also, Jessie Mae, I'm tagging you as well. Her favorite book of the year, book tag. And I'm also going to tag Kisti from Kistireads. and Andrew from Get Right On In. Johanna, and Johanna. And I think I'm also going to tag Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. Yeah, those are the people I'm going to tag. So yeah, I hope to see your answers, and you guys have a wonderful Christmas. See you later. Bye.